Okay, it's time for everybody's favorite Stump My Nephew. We found out that Sam the Gunman, my nephew, is actually really good at gun trivia. So if you send us a question and we use it on the air, you'll get a hat or a shirt. And if you stump my nephew, you'll get a special prize. But good luck with that. He's extremely good at gun trivia. He doesn't get the question in advance. The first time you hear the question is the first time he hears the question. So he doesn't get any time to prepare. And man, he's really good at this. So good luck. Send us in a question, and like I said, we'll use it on the air. We'll try to stump my nephew with it. So Sam, how you doing, man?
Not bad. How are you guys?
Good, good, good. Are you feeling confident today?
I don't know. The fact that you led off with that leads me to believe I shouldn't be.
I can't tell if this is in your wheelhouse or not. I'm
Oh,
not
it
sure.
happened.
You think
But yeah.
you have? Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's see how you go. Go ahead, Alicia. What's
right.
this question?
All right. So, Sam, here's your question. And we actually don't have a sender on this one.
Oh yeah, it's. Give me. We'll name the sender
All right.
after.
All right. So, here's your question. The U.S. M1 Garand, I'll let there be a conversation on that, is often credited as the first standard issue semi-automatic rifle in military service. However, another semi-automatic rifle actually saw standard issue adoption in limited numbers before, the Garand. What was the rifle and which country fielded it?
Ooh, semi-automatic rifle, standard, adopted as standard, but issued in only limited numbers before the M1. So the M1 was officially adopted by the U.S. Army at the beginning of 1936, which is fairly early. So that would have to predate the SVT in the Soviet Union because that was adopted in 1938. It would. The French had the MAS 40, but that wasn't adopted until right around the beginning of the war. And then back in World War I, you had some kind of specialized stuff. Well, I know the Russians had the Fedorov, but that was more of an automatic rifle. It was select fire, and it was designed for it was designed with that capability from the beginning. So it was kind of more of a specialist weapon. I'm gonna pull one way out of left field. I'm gonna say the French RSC 1917 in World War I. They produced them in small numbers. They used them in the trenches in combat, but they did not fully replace the RSC 1917 and RSC 1918 did not fully replace the various rifles in French service. Now, I'm not super familiar with all of the French rifles out there, but I know the RSC was an autoloader. They did use it in World War I. I'm going to go with that.
Okay, so just to recap, the question is what semi-automatic rifle saw standard issue adoption in limited numbers before the Garand?
Standard issue adoption, limited numbers before the Garand. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure the MAS 40 post dates the Garand. So I'm still going to go with. I know you're trying to fake me out. You're trying to
Nope.
mess with me.
No. I just wanted to make sure you understand. Okay, so what's the answer?
So, well, the answer that was
Which is
provided
kinda interesting.
is actually one of the things you discussed, but then
Yeah.
you discounted it and you kept going.
Yeah.
So here's the answer we were provided. The Fedorov Avtomat, which I'm probably butchering that, adopted by Imperial Russia in 1916. It was a select fire rifle chambered in 6.5 by 50 millimeter.
Arasaka.
Right, Arasaka, making it arguably the world's first practical assault rifle, decades before the term existed, although it was issued only in small numbers due to World War I production limits and the Russian Revolution.
That was sent in by Frank and El Cajon. But here's my question, because I don't comb through the internet trying to make sure that these are accurate. We put a lot of faith in the person asking the question. So do you agree? Do you think this person's right, or do you think you're right?
The Fedorov was adopted in 1916, so the timing makes sense. I was under the impression that it was only used by specialist troops, and that there were not plans to make it the standard issue rifle of the Imperial Russian Army. So it could go either way. If
That
we're
part's a
talking
little subjective, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, that part's in. I think I've said this before in a lot of history questions broadly. There are a lot of different definitions of first, but I would say that yes, his answer is a valid answer, and within the parameters of the question, that is a valid answer. So
I think
I concede the point to Frank from is it Frank or Fred?
We're going to call this the tie. The tie goes to the runner. Frank's the runner. So we're going to give Frank a special prize. I think what we're going to do is give him a day of training with an instructor. We'll figure that out. We'll see what he wants best. But you still nailed it. You still gave us a lot of really great information.
It was a great question. And I think a lot of it hinges on what we consider to be standard issue. Do we consider standard issue to mean something that was mass produced and fielded by troops in combat in a capacity other than field trials? Or do we mean it was intended to replace the standard service rifle of the time? But using the former definition, Frank got it. That was a great question. Thanks for sending it in.
That was a great question. All right, perfect. What are you working on do you have anything coming up as far as articles, whether it's for Leatherneck or for us or anything you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, I know I said a little while ago I was working on a blog post about little known but influential firearms. And the deeper I dug, the more information I uncovered. So I'm going to have to expand each one into its own blog post. So look for that coming up soon.
That's interesting because I already know what next week's Stump My Nephew is. And it's about a unique and little known firearm that's kind of a classic. So there's a preview for next week. So we'll see if you get it or not. But it ties into what you're writing about. So awesome. Well, great, Sam. Thank you so much. Appreciate you as always, my friend.
Well, hey, thanks for having me on. As always, again, great question. That's a fun one.
Cool. All right, man. See you next week. Hey, thanks for watching Gun Owners Radio. I hope you loved that clip. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and follow us on social media. And check out our website at gunownersradio.com.